Identifying SOD conflicts is just a start. MTC Skopos delivers actionable remediation paths and investigate whether risks are materialized, turning security data into real insights within seconds. Let's launch a segregation of duties risk analysis on our full user population. MTC Skopos is now processing over 1,700 dialogue users, cross-referencing every authorization against our comprehensive SOD rule set. While traditional tools can take several minutes, even hours for a population this size, watch how quickly we generate results. The engine evaluates thousands of authorization combinations in parallel, identifying every potential conflict across your landscape. Analysis complete. Let's open one of the identified conflicts. Here's the detailed breakdown. MTC Skopos shows you exactly what's triggering this risk, the conflicting functions, the specific actions within each function, and the permission level details down to the authorization objects and field values. Critically, you can see which roles are granting these authorizations. No guesswork, no manual cross-referencing, everything in one view. Now let's dig deeper to truly understand this conflict. We can see which specific actions are creating the segregation of duties violation, and more importantly, who is actually executing these transactions in production. This usage data is essential. A conflict with no execution is very different from one that's actively used every day. Here, we can identify which roles are providing each side of the conflict. Let's examine the role details. You can see the full authorization profile, the transactions assigned, and how this role contributes to the overall risk exposure. This contextual understanding is what transforms a compliance checkbox into actionable intelligence. You're not just seeing that a conflict exists. You understand why it exists, how it's being used, and where to focus your remediation efforts. Now, let's move to remediation. First, we define our criteria. In this case, we'll consider transaction execution data over a specific period to inform our recommendations. MTC Skopos is now running its advanced remediation engine. The algorithm analyzes multiple factors: execution patterns, role assignments, authorization structures, and organizational constraints. It then determines the optimal remediation steps for each conflict. But here's what sets us apart. The engine doesn't just suggest changes, it simulates the implementation, rerunning a full risk analysis as if the remediation was already in place. You see the projected outcome before making any changes to your production environment. Here are the results. Out of our identified conflicts, 149 have clear remediation paths, and several can be fully resolved, eliminating the risk entirely. Let's deep dive into one specific user and risk. You can see the pattern MTC Skopos has identified. The conflict stems from a combination of role assignments that could be restructured without impacting the user's legitimate business needs. Notice how recommendations are classified by implementation complexity. This is crucial for planning. A simple remediation, like removing a role from a user, requires minimal effort and testing. A more complex remediation, such as removing specific actions from a role and reassigning them to a different role, requires more steps, more testing, and coordination with role owners. This complexity scoring helps you to prioritize quick wins that mitigate critical risks with minimal effort, then structure more complex changes into phased, achievable milestones. The goal is a credible remediation roadmap, grounded in operational reality, not an unattainable wish list. Finally, let's investigate whether any risk has actually materialized. MTC Skopos integrates change document analysis, reviewing actual transactional data to identify suspicious patterns. Here, we examine the change documents associated with our flagged users. We can trace what was created, modified, or approved, and by whom. If a user with a create a sales order and process delivery conflict has actually created a sales and then modified the delivery document, you have evidence of potential risk realization. This transforms your SOD program from preventive control monitoring into genuine fraud detection. You're not just identifying what could happen, you're investigating what may have already happened. Connect MTC Skopos directly to your AI provider using your API key. Sensitive information such as user names, role names, system names are automatically anonymized before anything leaves the tool. From any analysis view, you can ask AI about your data. Use predefined questions tailored to what you're looking at, a user risk profile, an SOD conflict, a remediation scenario, or start your own conversation. No prompt engineering nor copy-pasting is needed. Just click, ask, and get answers grounded in your actual SAP security data. That's MTC Skopos. Risk identification, remediation planning, and forensic analysis all in one platform. Visit mtcskopos.com to learn more and book a demo to get started with 14 days free.